in prison, when the first time I arrived in Inglewood, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The second prison. First prison didn't have shit. I smoked right before my trial, and James pulls out an ounce. But let me go to the third prison. That place was so tight. There was all over the yard everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I could get, sometimes when the came in, I could get 5 or 6 chapstick cap. You know what chapstick is, right?
Yeah.
One cap was $25 if you knew the guy. And then I could flip it for $125. But that was just brick.
That's a huge margin.
But
though.
you would still, like, couple hits, you would just be off your ass, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and then in Inglewood, I came into the cell. James was there for LS Sparky, and he pulls out an ounce of. I hadn't gotten so we fought the sentencing for 5 months. I was in Sandstone for 8 or 9 months. So like 13, 14 months. Before my trial, I was smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I mean, you got to smoke away the stress somehow.
So he rolls he's like, we're going to go on move and we're going to smoke it. And then there was this dead spot where the towers couldn't see you or none of the guards. And we just did the circle, and I'm just hitting it as hard as I can,
Mm-hmm.
coughing. And I go back to the unit, dude. I hadn't won an appeal. I still had 151 months, which was a short time for even, at the time, even though it was a huge sentence. And it hit me like 10 strip of LA. And I just like, oh my God, and the horror. And I'm like, I'm 23. I got 151 months. I'm not going to get out till I'm 34. That whole fucking story, man. And like I had to go crawl in my bunk and get to the side, and I just fucking cried, man. But every day that motherfucker took me out, and after about a week, it was like, okay, I knew I was in prison. Like, you got to just deal with it. But they were getting it through the ink department, and like that prison printed all the forms for the whole Bureau of Prisons, all like however many prisons there were. And they contacted somebody in the ink company, and they were just getting it through pallets. And one of the guy's wives or something somehow, and like pounds of come into that prison.
Were they just putting it into these like ink cartridges?
Yeah,
or?
and the inmates run everything. They do all the ordering, they do all the unloading. I mean, you're supervised by the cops, but if it wasn't like it was explosives or a gun, and I don't know if that ever got busted. I mean, 8 or 9 months later, I think it was for some hooch or something. I got thrown in the hole in an investigation. I got transferred to another spot. But I mean, there was tons of in there too, which is crazy. I mean, I stopped selling because I didn't want to go to prison. I go to prison, and then in 3 separate prisons, I was selling heroin.
Yeah, they're all doing selling.
Yeah, it's insane, right? It's hypocrisy. It's just wicked hypocrisy. And like, why is the government able to tell us what we can do with our own head?
Well, why? I mean, even bigger thing is, why is nothing being done about widespread drug use in prisons when obviously, I mean, you can't send someone to jail for use or selling, put them in an environment where people are still using and selling and expect them to get any better.
I think part of it is there is this thing, I think it might be unwritten, where there has to be some strife. There has to be some conquer and divide, but there can't be riots, because then it wouldn't be the good orderly running of the prison. But it almost seems like it's probably greed, and it's a little bit subtler than that. But so they still kind of let some in. But if you piss dirty, they're going to throw you in the hole, and they're going to try to get it. If they find it in your cell, they're not going to look the other way. But you almost have to have that. You have to have some pacifier in there.
Yeah, they realize that the will keep you guys calm.
In a sense, and the weight pile and the library. They wanted to take the weights out in like 95, and all the wardens for all federal prisons went to Congress. They wanted to actually remove the weights. They had some sort of compromise where no new money could be spent, but they could maintain the weights. And that was where it flipped, where it was rehabilitate, and then it went to house and feed. And the very first prison I went to, I got approved for Pell Grants. I wanted to go to school. And then right then is when they said no more Pell Grants. And Claiborne Pell, when he invented them, he kind of was for people on the street, but also for the prisoners. So like, because what are you going to do when you get out? I mean, I went to the University of Crime. I'm not a victim. Like, I took my shit to trial. I was guilty, but it's like, that flipping of the script, and then these people come out to live with you, It's not being responsible to the rest of the citizens. And that's on the federal level. The state's probably much worse.
100%. 100%.
Much worse. Anytime your hand came in and I meant to connect. It's funny, I sold not as much, but like I made, that's crazy compared to what I was doing on the street like that, but inside of a prison. But the guy would come in with a whole cigar tube of like black tar.
Mm-hmm.
I would already have it sold before I got it, but it would be that would be 500 to go to 1,500 because it was I didn't ever wanted to hold it. I just wanted to get rid of it. And then one time in Pekin, Illinois, this kid came to my cell with about a 2-ounce fucking bag of pure China. It was a deadhead, and this was before they searched my room, and I almost got away. Like that was another one. And he's like, "Hold this for the night, or just hold this for me." And I did. I took it from him, and dude, I mean, at that time I had given 30 months back. I had these appeals in, and like the whole night I slept, and I fucking had like just horrible nightmares, and then I had to go back to the unit with it, to another unit, like that. I could still be in there, and I gave it back to him, and I said, "Dude, I'm not touching this shit again." I'm like, "Here you go, man." I'm like, "Fuck that, I'm not holding this. This is insane." But that shit, a little tiny match head would fuck somebody up.
That's an insanely large bag for someone to have in prison. Like 2 ounces of China. That's crazy.
He had to hold it for someone that had to hold it. Someone went to the hole. And that was a crazy prison yard. I should have never left Florence. The old timers told me. They said, I didn't see it. There was a new jail and everybody was vying for fucking position. That was a fucked up spot. And I was cool with everyone. And then this dude ended up ratting on me. And then they didn't find anything, but they threw me in the hole. And then when I went into my room, there was the 2 pieces of 3 bags, 50 papers just hanging from the fucking tip of the shorts. Like, and the whole room was like completely like ramshackled. They searched the fuck out of it. My cell even said, "Look, if they find it," he's like, "I'm not going to say anything. We're both going to go to the hole." And I said, "No, dude, I got to take it. It's mine." He's like, "It was in a common area." He's like, "Dude, the door was unlocked." He's like, "I am not going to rat." And he's like, and he made me promise them, "Don't say anything. Don't take it." I'm like, "Okay." But they didn't fucking find it.
Wow. That's insane luck,
and
dude.
while I was in the fucking TV room, this dude attacked me and there was a wicked fight. And I choked him out.
Why do you attack you?
It's a whole nother story, but that was while we were fucking, they strip searched us in front of the cell. This is right after this dude, I was supposed to bring him there. And I felt like something was wrong and I didn't. And he was going to have the commissary. I did leave it in the unit. It was in the inside the cell in like a pair of shorts with really deep pockets, and they were stuffed in the corner. And so then by the time and then he knew that he thought they were going to find it, because once I went to the next morning when I went to Chow, they locked me up for investigation, but I'd already told everybody that motherfucker ratted on me. I don't know what happened to him, but while they were searching, they didn't find it. And when I went into the thing and it was things were pulled out. The whole cell was completely ripped apart. Everything was ripped open.
They just somehow didn't find your stuff.
Yeah. And I've never seen it even like that in a TV show. And it's the only time it ever happened to me. It's the only time I ever saw it. I mean, they tore cells apart, but that was unbelievable. But then I saw them there hanging. I picked the shorts up and they were right there in front of my face. And I just started shaking, but they let me back in. So I like grabbed them. It literally was shaking so bad I almost dropped them. I couldn't even push the fucking button to make it flush. And then they came back an hour later and pissed me. They fucked up. I mean, they totally fucked up.
What do you mean they pissed you? What does that mean?
Because I thought about eating that. One of them, like I was like, but I didn't. I was clean. Like they piss tested me.
Oh, okay.
And then they put it right in the thing. And then the next morning I went to Chow, and at Chow they threw me in the hole. That motherfucker set me up. And one time I got a bunch of weed and I was in the hole on the way to Pekin. And I did. I won't say how, but I had it. And then we were on holdover for like 12 days in this prison somewhere. And this dude was there, Rocky. And he was going to the same place. And this guy was a big time motherfucker, man. And, but we smoked it all in there.
In solitary?
Cool. Yeah.
How do you get away with that?
So if you had a pencil and you just gently take the top off and the eraser and you have that little thing, right? And then you bite an end down really hard. You take a blank toilet paper roll and right where that like creases, you just very slowly and gently you work it through and then it'll be airtight. That's how this just with those tools.
Interesting.
And then when you light it, that's enough where you can fill that and all the smoke will go in. And then if you have like one bounce, or you just do it when the guards don't come around and you have to have matches keistered and that, but people smoke so you could get matches. And there's always a toilet paper roll and everybody had access to pencils. And that all the places we smoked, that's how you smoked. And you could just flush that because those were like vacuum flush toilets. It'd suck a fucking orange down the fucking toilet.
Probably not a good idea to have that strong of toilets in the cells. That probably helped you get tons of shit.
In fucking prison, man. Yeah, that was crazy. This is the reason why I needed to go to Marion because after Jerry died, I didn't have something to do. And then when I was in those other jails, there was always fucking shit that could get me more prison time. If there was the stuff I sold on the side would only get me thrown in the hole. But every jail, 4 of them I was involved with.
Sounds like you
and
couldn't.
3 of them I sold at. The other ones I just used, but still.
The drug following you.
If you get it dirty, it's bad. You go to the hole at least for 90 days in a mandatory transfer. Like you're in the hole probably for the next 8 months.
Yeah.
It's bad, right? So the fucking that's crazy.
8 months in the hole just for one infraction is fucked up. It's a lot of time. And being in the hole.
And I sent LS back into Marion when I got out.
How did you do that?
A lot of it. And I did it. And I don't care. I've said it before. No, run it. 100%. Yeah. So
how did you do that? Fill me in.
I set it up before I left. The rule is, the thing is, federal law is fascinating. I think in another life, I helped file 2 appeals. One went all the way to the Supreme Court. It was held in abeyance. But wait, what was the question?
We were talking about how you were sending L back.
Yeah. So I thought this appeal was unbelievable. It's very succinctly told, but if you read the first 3 pages, it does say everything, but it's really short and good. Wait, repeat the question.
we were just talking about how you were sending back.
Oh yeah, so when you win the appeal, it's still without getting into the intricacies. This is the execution of it. You have to. They agree with you, but the sentencing court has to too. So if the prosecutor fights it, it could go back. So it doesn't mean you're going to go anywhere. That letter's going to probably come. We filed this appeal. We're waiting for the answer, but they're never going to tell you when the letter's going to come. And then when the letter comes, it's still an open date. It's when they can get me back there. And when I got back to Marion, when I won the appeal and was going to walk out, they put a motion in to send me back. They showed it to me and they laughed at it. They showed, and so did the prosecutor.
Why would they file that motion? Just out of spite, or like, is that normal, or?
No, because they said how dangerous I was. I said some really fucked up shit to them.
Oh.
That's why they beat me down. But they can't do it. It's illegal.
Yeah.
So wait, so I'm at Marion. What was the story going to be for?
You were talking about how you had filed your appeal and you were about to get out. And then bigger picture, yes, we were talking about you.
You get intimate with people and you know them. And my friend, who I know very well, I just said, this is what it'll be. But I said, once it bees, you probably won't ever hear from me again. And so it was. It did. It's just that it happened.
What do you mean though? Like, how did you like?
And okay, so the law libraries and all that. There's if you like, so they arrested me. It's extremely rare and odd. It's very high level shit. Like as much that I only had $7,000. They convened a grand jury. The grand jury vote too. I read the transcripts. Like a lot of them questioned the fucking indictment to begin with, but they went and they got that, you know, and spent all that money to try to get me because they thought that I was that big. And I wasn't. It was always just like unbelievable. So, wait, where were we going?
Talk about you sending back into Marion.
Right. So, oh yeah, back into Marion. So I told him we set it up, and then when I got home, at some point I followed through, but it was a way that was totally untraceable. But the prosecutor did do this too. When she let me out, she said, "You're in the 6th district." I was in the Eastern District of Kentucky, and there were 7 districts, right? And at that time, when you got out, you could not drink. I remember in the cell, and she said, I would just get a bottle and go drink. And then she showed me, she came in after the whole process was over and said, I'm going to allow you to drink. And she says, in the 7th Circuit, they don't. But she's like, this is the order from the sentencing judge. They can't change it unless you sign a piece of paper. And she's like, don't sign. She told me that, right? And then, because I wasn't an alcoholic, I mean, I drank, I realized I became one, right? I was definitely, but at the time that helped me. And then when I got there, they tried to get me to sign that piece of paper, but I didn't. And yeah, the probation was pretty hard too. But I was just rolling, man, really strong. But we were going somewhere else. And so I had to do that as one last act of defiance. And he got it. I know he got it.
Were you like mailing it in, or how was it getting there?
Probably got flown in on a plane. Yeah. I mean, it could have came in any way, but he got it.
Interesting.
You know, I don't want to, but
that was your final hoorah. That was your send off. Get some.
No, the thing is, there was in a prison, and they saved me a hit because they knew, and they saved it for like 3 days. They were all going to take it, and I said no, and I'm glad I did.
Well, prison doesn't sound like a fun place to trip.
No, I'm like,
sounds horrible.
Yeah, and I'm glad I said no. And one time, this guy had this really killer coat, and he gave me a line, and I shouldn't have done it because it was so good. But you come down, and you're in jail.
God, that's gotta feel like shit.
Fuck, dude. It was just like to cope. And the thing is, it came in and it left really quick. And I didn't do it. So I just got money and books and shit just to have stuff, like just to fuck around and be like, make money.
Something, something
to
going.
do.
And, fuck,
and then even though I had to struggle with the alcohol.
Maybe it was
we made alcohol, and one time, the only time I got drunk in there, they would take all this tomato paste, and you'd use brown sugar because it cooks faster than real white sugar. And they'd take like 20 pounds of this stuff in 3 huge big plastic bags, and 10 pounds to 10 pounds and 10 pounds of brown sugar, and then add sometimes 10 more. And this shit came out. It was almost clear. There's like a big 20-ounce coffee cup. I mean, who knows how strong it was, right? Dude, I had alcohol breath for 3 days. I mean, it was unbelievable when it happened because I did it all. I just slammed it. It was probably equal. It had to be like 40 proof. So probably like that's equal to probably like 15 shots at least.
Yeah.
And, and so it was wicked. I didn't puke or anything, but that was that was unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gotta say, everyone that's watching at this point, you need to go read the first 3 pages and then all the rest of the pages of Letters from Marion, which I think has been made clear at this point, right? And